Okay, so this is Phil. So this is Tuesday, April 18th, 2023. And I just wanted to give a rundown on this fast that I did, this 7-day fast. And that's what this is about. But first I want you to see something. This is Dr. Jamnidaz, and he's got something to say about fruits.
This as well. It has a little bit of sugar, and because it's not in the form of juice, it's going to be digested slowly into your gut. Because the digestion is slower, your sugar rise is not going to be astronomically high as it is in the form of, let's say, do you have any juice here? Can you pass me one of those juices? So here's a juice. So this particular one is grape juice. So in 1 cup of this juice, how many grapes will I need to actually crush to create that? The answer is about 30 to 40 grapes. And nobody in their mind will be eating 30 to 40 grapes at one time. So what happens is this liquid gets down too quickly, causes a huge insulin rise, huge sugar rise in your body, and you're going to get that insulin burst, you're going to go into storage mode, and then you're going to be hungry within an hour or two again. And there's no signal from this that, hey, I'm full. So the way to consume fruit juice is the fruit itself. No juices, please, for you or your children. No juice. Juice is not a health food. So orange juice is another thing. People think that that's very healthy for the children. It's not. With or without the pulp makes no difference. The sugar content for breakfast, even during the rest of the day, far too high sugar. Eat the fruit. So we have some tangerines here, and these are fantastic. Here we go. That's what you want to do, the whole thing. No juice. The fiber that's in here prevents that massive rise in your insulin. Digestion is slower, and your pancreas will not be overwhelmed, and you will feel satiated. You won't get hungry so quickly because you've eaten the real thing. Whole foods. This is an example of a whole food. Apple is a whole food. Now, the next thing that I have here is a yogurt that I have. And
Alright, so he goes on. This is an outstanding video, Best and Worst Breakfast Foods by Dr. Jamnidaz. He absolutely destroys cereals, processed cereals, because they're just too high in sugar. He says there's a huge problem. He doesn't come out, he's not one of these people to come out and tell you what to eat. He's just telling you this stuff is really bad. And that's what I like about him. He's not going to lecture to you. He's just going to say, look, here's what it does. And this is why, I'm just telling you, this is what it does. That's what he does. So anyway, I'm going to bring you around to me. Morning, everybody. So I just want to give a rundown on this fast. And as you can see by what Dr. Jamnidaz did, I screwed up by doing that juice. But I think I definitely do realize, even as I was drinking that juice, I was drinking it in a I don't have the glass here with me, but it's a round drinking glass. It's about that tall, and I was drinking about a half of it. So I wasn't drinking, big doses of it, and I was actually treating it like a medicine. And it definitely did help me get through that fast. But as a general rule, you can see that Dr. Jamnidaz despises juices because they cause a massive rise in your blood sugar. And everything in life is what goes up must come down. And what happens is you get this huge sudden rise in blood sugar and this huge sudden drop. And it just amazes me that when you listen to him talk about this and how much sense it makes about how many people have been drinking sodas, just regular sugar sodas, and how they got their diabetes and how it killed them. I mean, I had an uncle, George, who used to drink Pepsis, and he got addicted to them. And he was such good friends with the Pepsi guy that the Pepsi guy would stop his truck by the house. And this was back when Pepsis came in glass bottles, 16-ounce glass bottles, beautiful turned glass bottles, and they would recycle them. They would actually take the bottles back. They would run them through a cleaner, a sterilizing, like a 250 degree detergent washer would wash the bottles out. They reuse them. Anyway, my Uncle George was drinking, I want to say, I think he might have said he was drinking like 18 to 20 bottles a day, 16 ounces. He was pounding that stuff, and it gave him diabetes. It pretty much blinded him, and then it pretty much killed him. But he was addicted. So anyway, but Dr. Jemnadez in this video about the best and worst breakfast foods really goes on a tear about foods that encourage a huge boost in sugar without fiber. And you need the fiber to control the sugar boost, because if you go way high, you're going to go way low, and then you're going to be 2 hours later, you're going to be hungry. So anyway, let's get back to my fast. My fast started on Sunday, April 9th, 2023 at around 4 in the afternoon, April 9th, 2023, and ended on Sunday, April 16th, 2023 at 4 in the afternoon, pretty much 4 in the afternoon. And I didn't have any solid food. I am retired, so that allows me to sit on my ass a lot. And that's not fair to all you people that are working. So that's why I wanted to mention this about this fast. Because if you're tuning in here to see discussion about the fast, and you're concerned, you need to be realistic about your life situation. Because a lot of people, they're not retired, they're still busting their hump. So if you go on a fast, you have to manage it. And this is what I said in the video. One of the videos, I said I have massive respect for the Muslim people who are on Ramadan, because I work with a black guy that was a Muslim, and he was on Ramadan, and we were moving heavy furniture, and he was driving a truck, and it got kind of dangerous at times for him, because he was not very smart about the way he was managing his blood sugar. But he was kind of screwed, because, I mean, in his version of Islam, I asked him, I said, he was talking about they couldn't even drink water. And I was like, that's kind of monstrous. You can't do that. You got to be able to get water in you. But the problem with getting water in you is you have electrolytes, and there's an electrolyte balance. So if you drink water and you expel electrolytes, then you have to replace the electrolytes, which means you got to eat something. You got to put something in your mouth and eat it. And that, I don't know what the particular limitations on that are, but it's a very serious part of the Islamic religion. It is, as far as I know, the month of Ramadan is a festival of how do I say this? Of personal endurance and respect for the love that Allah puts in your life. So that's what the limitations are about in Ramadan. And it's kind of something that the Christian religion really is kind of lost a little bit, because you can't be comfortable your whole life and be in love with the Lord, because you get too comfortable, you start forgetting about the Lord, But anyway, let me get back to it. Sorry about that. Went off on a tangent. So the fast started on Sunday, April 9th, 2023 at 4 o'clock, and then ended on Sunday, April 16th, 2023 at 4 o'clock. Didn't have any solid food. I had water. I had lots of spring water. I used Deer Park spring water because I like spring water. I'm a little bit freaked out now about city water unless I boil it, like for tea. So I had tea, all kinds of teas. I had hot teas and cold teas and teas and teas and teas. I had every kind of tea you can imagine. I had fruit juices, which Dr. Jimnadez just blasted. I had apple juice, which was absolutely amazing. That apple juice. That apple juice is amazing. That Simply apple juice. Oh, I could eat that. It's like an apple candy bar. Oh my God, it's kind of thick too. If you set that stuff off in a window or something for like, a month in a sealed jar with a cork, you have you some apple frickin' liquor. That was some good stuff. I had some peach juice too. It was really good. Had a little bit of added sugar in it. That was a little disappointing, but only a little added sugar. It didn't have a bunch of crap. If you turn around, so here's another thing about food ingredients lists. If you turn the thing around, and the food ingredients list is this long, with 400 words with parentheses behind every word, because you get this thing where they go, oh, it's all natural, and then it goes, you get in the back and you see it says, it'll say a generic statement about natural flavors. Well, that's a damn lie. Natural flavors covers a lot of stuff. I mean, the natural flavor of, oxybenzyl axyl dimethyl dichloro hydrazine is probably something you don't want to eat, But that's the natural flavor. But so anyway, if the ingredients list looks like an encyclopedia, maybe you want to put that and go, oh, well, I just thought this was like, fruit juice or fruit drink. I'll pass. And then you pick the next one up and it says apples from apple juice from concentrate, and it'll say like one chemical for preservation, and that'll be it, or whatever. So anyway, so I had the apple juice and I had the peach juice and I had the condemned grape juice. Now that is a special juice kind of to me, because grape juice, like wine, contains a chemical called resveratrol. And this chemical is coming into its own about helping slow down the aging process and to help healing in the body. And that's why I started drinking wine. Unfortunately, I'm real good at drinking wine. I got too good. And the thing that got me was this stuff has Carlo Rossi sweet red wine has a 8% alcohol content in it. And I swear I don't taste it. I don't taste it. And that's dangerous. Because I was pounding that shit. I was like getting my drink glass, and I was pouring it all the way up. And I was like on the internet, watching the internet, and I'd be, dude, whoop, and I'd fill it up again. And I wasn't getting blasted. I wasn't getting blasted. And I drink my Yingling beers, and they don't get me drunk. And I drink the Stella Artois, and they don't get me drunk. And I don't get a hangover from those two beers or from this wine. Now, if I drink Coors, man, the after effect of Coors is so nasty, it's unbelievable. So, anyway, when my legs swelled up for the first time in my life, I'd never had my legs swell up in my life. And it was a seminal moment. It was April 4th, I think it was April 4th, 2023. And I was working at the computer, and I got my little drink glass of wine. And this was after I'd ate a cheesecake that didn't really taste right, I was kind of like, man, this cheesecake doesn't taste like it used to. Because it used to be, the Edwards cheesecake used to come as a pie that had, a good cheesecake is not white on top. It has a yellow flavor and a yellow color. I think the yellow color comes from the number of eggs that's used in the batter. But the old Edwards cheesecake that was yellow on top that was flat. It didn't have this, where they spritzed on little stars of the ingredients. But the old Edwards cheesecake that was flat on top, that had the crumbly graham cracker crust, that was thick, and when you cut it, it was thick. And I mean, you eat that, and that was some of the best cheesecake I ever ate in my life. For the price, it used to be $5. $5. You know what? I've seen slices of cheesecake, and this is no shit. Slices of cheesecake for $50, just a slice, with a little bit of blueberry and raspberry on top of it. $50. I'm like, I better see freaking DMT freaking holy beings when I eat that cheesecake for $50 a slice, So anyway, that old Edwards cheesecake with the yellow cover, and it's thick when you sliced it, and it didn't have any stuff on top of it. That was some of the best cheesecake I ever ate. And I got eating that, and sure enough, they stopped making it. It just disappeared. So when this other cheesecake from Edwards came out, and it had a whipped topping in it, and I looked at it, I said, it's different. I said, this is bright white. This doesn't look anything like their old ingredients. But I said, it's Edwards. I'll trust the brand. I'll get the cake. And I got the cake, and I brought it home. And I didn't even let it thaw, because I said, you know what? This is so good. The last stuff was so good you could actually eat it slightly frozen. So I said, well, screw it. I'll cut it. So I cut it into 4 big slices. And the first bite was like, the first thing I tasted was nothing but sugar. And a little off taste, too. I was kind of like, this tastes like whipped cream. This doesn't taste like cheesecake at all. It tasted like a bad flavor whipped cream. I was really disappointed. I said, well, and I bought 2 of them too because they were on sale. 2 for $12, so $6 a pie. And I said, well, stuck with it now. So I went ahead and I ate that 1/4 slice, and so a couple hours later, I'm on a computer, I'm entering a video or something, and I'm sitting in my Aeron chair, and I grab my glass of wine, and I drink it, and when I turn my chair to get up, my legs are swollen, and I'm like going, whoa, what the hell is this? What's wrong with my ankles? I'd never in my life felt something like this. It felt like 2 ace bandages was around my ankles. Literally, my ankles were not rotating freely in their sockets. It actually felt like 2 big hands around each ankle, stopping my foot from moving. And then I looked at my legs. I said, are my legs frozen? Are my legs swollen? Oh my God. And I looked at my foot, and my damn foot was swollen. I said, what the hell caused this? What the hell's going on? Because I was in panic mode, because I'd seen my wife deal with this, and we fought that stuff forever. And we never really had a lot of good luck with it. Now, my wife was a foodaholic. She had a lot of trauma in her young age as a child, living with an alcoholic father who did horrendous things to her sister, to her mother, and I think also to her. And she buried all that. She buried all that in food. And she was a wonderful person. But the food addiction, along with the diet soda, pretty much killed her. And part of that last couple of years of her life was filled with legs that were swollen. And we tried stuff. One of the things that did help, strangely enough, was krill oil. I started to get a real good decrease in the amount of degeneration that was going on in Wanda when she started taking krill oil on a regular basis. And she talked to her sister one day and she stopped taking the krill oil. That was the relationship with her and her sister. It didn't matter that it was helping her get better. It didn't matter that her blood pressure was better than it ever was. The only thing that mattered was her sister didn't like it. So, and there was no way to fight that. The energy between her sister, who may actually have been her mother, through some horrendous actions that happened in the home of an alcoholic father. So anyway, let me get back to my point here. My legs were swollen, and I'm not ever going to accept that. So how do I fight that? Well, in Western medicine, the first thing you do is oh my God, doctor, I got to go see a doctor. Oh my God. Oh, I got to go see a doctor. Oh God, doctor, my legs are swollen. Oh my God. Oh. Well, in the real world, you look back on what the hell you did to your body that might have contributed to it. That's what you do in the real world. You take responsibility for your health. And in the real world, I was really screwing up. I was. And I was rather enjoying it. I was drinking way too much red wine. Way too much. I was drinking a gallon a week. But man, it was like drinking fruit juice. But it's not fruit juice. It's got 8% alcohol in it. So it was banging my kidneys. You know, it's really banging my body. It might have been helping my heart, but what's the point if it helps my heart when it kills my kidneys and liver? Let alone the idea that it's a Western wine made out of California. And, all respect to Carlo Rossi, it's probably just a regular wine. But I don't trust people who have a money reason to put stuff into stuff. That's just my paranoid. Because this wine has no alcohol flavor to it at all. It's wonderful. I'm actually complaining about a wine being a wonderful tasting product. You can't make anybody happy these days, you know? It's not their fault I was over drinking it. But I was over drinking it. And on top of that, yes, I was having a few beers. And, I was choosing my beers carefully, though. That Yuengling beer must be made just the old-fashioned way with hops and stuff. And the other beer, the Stella Artois, must be made the same way. I'm going to back this out a little bit because I'm about to get a visit. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because she's about to come on over here. I don't think you'll see her. But anyway, so I was screwing up. And I knew I was screwing up. And you're not going to see her. Let me get it down a little bit. All right. All right. So anyway, so I just realized, I said, you know what? I am not going to accept my legs being swollen, which means that I've got to get off of the alcohol and I've got to change the way I was eating. One thing I did find out, though, was, and I never knew this before, and if I'd have known this, it would have changed the way Wanda's health would have been treated, was that you don't have to be eating the wrong foods in a long string of time to cause leg swelling. Leg swelling can happen in one sudden incidence of food poisoning. If you get one certain food that your body's allergic to at one time, if you suppose it's a hamburger made with a certain item that your body's allergic to, or maybe you got a pizza with something that wasn't quite right. Maybe you got a burrito with some thing that wasn't quite right. That one incident can cause your legs to swell. I never knew that. I never knew that. No doctor ever told us that. And that really makes me angry, because that would have changed the way that Wanda's treatment would have been done, because I would have instantly said, look, honey, we need to really think about getting you on a fast, and I'll go on it with you. And let's look at pulling back on what you're eating and what I'm eating and see what's causing this. So that's why the 7-day fast started, because I'd fasted before with good results. I had ruined a fast one time with drinking a nasty beer. And so you got to understand about fasting. Some things I understand about fasting. Fasting can be a very dangerous time, because everything you put into your body has like 10 times the effect. So you have to be cognizant of that if you're on medicines. You have to be cognizant of that if you're a diabetic. You have to be cognizant of that if you are taking vitamins or minerals, because you can very quickly poison yourself if you're on a fast, on a water fast, and you are continuing your scheduled intake of these items. You have to ring them back. You gotta. It's almost the people I've seen talking about fast have actually recommended that nobody take any multivitamins and nobody take any types of mineral supplements while they're on fast, because it's that dangerous. So, anyway, I went through the fast. The first 4 days I had some belly pains. Oh, I forgot to mention that too. The first 4 days I had some belly pains, and they were not stomach pains. They were lower intestine pains. And when I started the fast, I had this constant pain in the right side of my back, which is kidney, and a pain in the, left side back, which was kidney, and left side front, which was in lower intestine. And I almost thought about taking Pepto-Bismol, but I said, you know what, that's a completely artificial thing. I'm not going to do anything artificial during this fast, so I refused to take that. So I just suffered through the pain. Every time I got the pain, I'd put some Deer Park spring water on it, and that would help some. And I was doing my, number twos. My number twos were largely water. They went to decreasing amounts of feces, but I still produce feces every day of this fast. I was producing feces in the 7th day of this fast. Now, not intact, turds, but like the size of a quarter, the size of a penny in the middle of fluid. So that's fecal matter, which was astonishing to me. And in the 6th and 7th day, now let me get back to the 4th day, because it was important. Because in the 4th day, I said, you know what? Hot chocolate still qualifies as liquid, And I'm wondering if the chocolate itself will help decrease the pain in the lower intestine. So I went and checked on hot chocolates, and I found Swiss Miss hot chocolate, and I checked the ingredients list, because I checked the Nestle's real cheap hot chocolate. It was $1. I said, $1? I said, all right. Turned it around, there it was, sucralose, right in the ingredients. I said, oh my God. Put you right back on the shelf. And I got the Swiss Miss, which was like $2.80. Turned it around, and it just said that it had sugar in it, and that's what you want to see. Because sugar's not great, but sugar is way preferable to any kind of other chemical, like Splenda, sucralose, or aspartame. You don't want those in your system. So I brought the sugar Swiss Miss home, hot chocolate, and I made 1 cup of it. And I drank it, and about 20 minutes later, you know what? My lower intestine felt a lot better. And that made me feel really good, because that was the last big pain I was having on this fast, because the back pain was going away every day that I was on the fast. And I was drinking water and I was peeing. I never had no problem peeing. I've had some problem with constipation way in the past, and lately several incidents of it with related to frozen foods, like a frozen DiGiorno's frozen pizzas that stopped me pooping for a month. I was like, going, what the hell is this? And then I went to what the hell is it, Royal Farms early in the morning one morning. I got a chicken tenders meal, and man, that stuff, I don't know what kind of oil they're using at Royal Farms, but it's different than it used to be, because it used to taste a lot better. But that oil and that stuff, that messed me up for a couple of days. And then, of course, the thing with my legs happened. But the hot chocolate made my made my lower intestine feel a lot better. And so we moved on from there. And I continued to drink all the waters and the juices. I didn't pound this juice. I used the juice, like I said, like a medicine. If I started feeling low, I'd take about, I'd say it was probably 4 ounces of it, 5 ounces of it, and I'd sip it, because you didn't have to, especially with that apple juice. My God, that apple juice is so good. It's like pouring an apple pie down your throat. You didn't have to, if you sipped it, I mean, you could extend the joy in drinking it. And of course, every time I'm drinking the juice, I'm chasing it with a Deer Park spring water. So I actually, come the 7th day of the fast, I wasn't missing food. And that was something that really surprised me. I was not missing food. And but I had determined that I was going to end the fast at 7 days, because I wasn't going, this wasn't about making a stunt. This was about doing a fast in a rational, logic way and getting through it. And I saw that Mr. Beast did a fast, and in the entire fast he's laying up in a bed like he's dying. I'm like going, I'm not involved in that. I'm not going to, we're not going to do that crap. I'm not going to be involved in a fast where it involves laying in bed like a dead man. That's not what life's about. You're not supposed to not enjoy every day. And that even includes in a fast. That even includes in Ramadan. The whole point of Ramadan is so that you reconnect with Allah in a way that makes you appreciate the abundance that Allah provides to you. That's the whole thing of Ramadan. It's not about, oh, we got to do a month's thing now. Oh, gosh. Blah, blah, blah. And they don't approach it like that either. I've never seen a Muslim approach it like that either. So, anyway, I got through the fast. I ate this wonderful meal. You see the video online. The hamburger and the hot dog and the fries with the, oh, man, that sour cream with the chives in it. Woo, doggy. Oh, yeah. Man, that made them French fries like, I'm like,